All right, I see my big giant head. I believe I have a stream. Hi, everybody. It's Big Ed Mustafa. Welcome to another episode of Adventures After Dark. Don't be alarmed if you hear any loud, explosive noises. It's either the neighbors launching fireworks or Mrs. Mustafa shooting at me again. Anyway, I'm your host. I'm Big Ed Mustafa. I'm excited to be with you on another Friday night. I'm going to continue the riveting white-knuckled adventures of Lenorian. She's a minstrel, she's an elf, she's on Arkenstone, and I was doing some work on her off stream the other night and leveled her up to 107. So one of the things I did, Wednesday night we went through the wedding, and when I heard there was a wedding last year, I was like, yeah, don't care, don't want to go to a wedding. So when you have a wife who's a photographer, the last thing you want to do is go to another wedding. Even if it's between Aragorn and Arwen. And then Cannibalic messaged everybody in the Gypsies, Tramps, and Thieves message board in my Discord and said, oh yeah, by the way, you get a class trait point for completing the wedding. So we all went to go do the wedding. Because I will go for a class trait point, or if they have Jamaican jerk chicken wings at the wedding, I would probably go for that too. That's a different story though. So I decided, you know what, Lenorian's at Minas Tirith anyway, why not put her through the wedding? So I did that, and we did some task item turn-ins and leveled up, and I managed to get her weapon crafting up. I'll go ahead and launch her into the game. Let's get started on that. One of the things I've been working towards is getting Westimate weapon crafting with the guild level, not just the crafting level. Her crafting's been more than high enough for a while. But I had to get her guild rep up to unlock the 95th and 100th level first age recipes so she could craft her own first age 100th level minstrel's weapon. That is done. And I had more than enough heritage runes to basically level the sword up. Also went through and ground some stuff. I've got it at level 68 out of 70. I got Scrolls of Delving for both of her first agers. There was some talk about whether it's better to use the Scroll of Delving before you imbue them or not. I decided to go ahead and do it. I don't know what the right answer is. And so at 70th level, I will go ahead and imbue her legendary items. And I probably need to assign some XP and get some relics slotted, because I don't think I've bothered to do that either. But that's okay. We are in Minas Tirith. I am out of the midsummer seasonal instance. I'm sure it's a fine festival. I don't know what it is about festivals. I rarely get in the mood to do them. Summer festivals coming up, I will be grinding the fishing a lot to get crystals, but I don't know. If Midsummer Festival's fun, tell me all about it. I'm sure it's great. Nick, do you do any Midsummer Festival stuff?
No.
Yeah, me neither. Kipio says, Puppet Box will not be happy. Botan Finberry is here. Hello to both of you fine gentlemen. Lord Smooches is here. My apologies to Puppet Box. Lord Smooches says I finished up mine today. Very good. Yeah, my after dinner nap ran a little long, so that's okay. I've got plenty of ice cold Coke Zero to get me revved up and ready for the stream. And since there are no fines or penalties for being late, I must be right on time. SKDX Killer has been kind enough to pop into chat and say hello. And he was telling me about playing on Shadowfax. So, yeah, congratulations to all you guys who are out there rolling up new characters and checking out the new Legendary servers. As I am free to play, I am not allowed.
You stink.
I do stink.
Just kidding.
Well, Lotro is a fantastic game, and we should all support it financially. But what brought me back to Lotro was that it went free to play. So
How may I help
I
you?
continue to enjoy that feature of the game. I have only unlocked the players tier and soldiers tier. That surprises me. I would have thought I got to the top. Oh, and I've been to Christos. Alright, I guess I've got to go visit some stable masters on some upper tiers, and then we'll get to questing. There's Puppet Box checking in. Ponton says, running up and down Minas Tirith, you're not missing Festival too much. Yeah, as nice as Minas Tirith is, I remember not really enjoying the quests here, but you kind of have to do them. So to do extra Minas Tirith questing for a festival doesn't really sound very festive to me. That's if you don't have swift travel unlocked. Yeah, exactly. So Puppet Box arrived late and did not notice what time I started the stream. So as far as he knows, I was quite punctual this evening. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. Let's see. I came up this side. I'll need to go over here for the next tier up. So yeah, I did the wedding again, and Lenorian got that done. She's got a couple of first stagers that are almost 70th and ready to imbue. And there's a lot... Well, it's kind of interesting, because it sounds like the legendary item changes are going to be coming in the not too terribly long future. And I don't really have any reason to wait. I'm just going to go ahead and do what I'm going to do. And some people will probably be like, oh my god, he's totally doing it wrong. It's okay. They're just legendary items. I can throw them in the trash and redo them. Even first stage imbueds. Once I start dumping tons of scrolls and crystals into them, I'll be a little more conservative about stuff. But frankly, if you do roving threats at all, replacing a first stage 100th level weapon ain't all that tough.
Gondo needs
And I do
your
like me
aid.
some roving threats. But yeah, my plan is to go ahead and just imbue them. I don't know what the perfect setup is. I don't really care what the perfect setup is. I'm just going to do my thing, and I'll get the weapons close. They'll be what I need them to be. But if I didn't get everything perfectly, totally optimized, well, that's okay. Life will go on. So one of the questions that came up Wednesday when we were going through the wedding was Sam Gamgee referred to Faramir as Prince Faramir. And that threw me for a little bit of a loop, because I was like, hang on. He's the younger son of the steward. There's nothing princely or royal about his line. And I was curious about it, and I think I asked Chad at the time, and I don't recall anybody saying anything positive. So I actually went out and looked it up, and apparently upon assuming the throne, Aragorn basically crowned Faramir the Prince of Ithilien. So I didn't know that. I had to go look it up. But that is the answer to that question. Or as the rapper Ice-T would say, that's the answer to the question why. So there you go. And now we know. Are you a big Ice-T fan, Nick? What kind of rap do you listen to?
Like Eminem is an instant classic. Remember, what was it, that song Without Me in like 2001? I remember that. And then Kid Cudi's alright. I remember listening to a little bit of him. But other than that, I don't really listen to rap.
Really? Okay.
Sir Mix-a-Lot.
I love me some Mix-a-Lot. He's the man that you love to hate, coming out of Washington State. And I have ridden too far. I like a lot of the old school stuff. I remember when I first heard Public Enemy, I hadn't heard anything like it before, and it was such a wall of noise. It took me a long time for my brain to be able to decipher and unscramble it. And it was just a cacophony in a way that I was not used to hearing music. But I love a lot of the old school stuff. Of course, NWA is pretty notorious, especially after they got their movie made about them. And it's just kind of funny to see guys like Ice Cube and Ice-T that are, you know, in Hollywood portraying cops. It's like, wow, really? Wouldn't have guessed that. But okay.
These are troublesome times indeed.
So I don't know what's a bigger sellout move for Ice-T to be portraying a cop on Law and Order SVU or to be doing Car Shield commercials. But hey, he's making bank. I would not begrudge him that. My plan is to ride up, unlock all of the stable masters, and when I get to the top tier, start clicking plaques and work my way back down. So it's going to be that kind of a stream, and I apologize in advance for it. But it's got to be done. And one of the things I've never shied away from is showing Lotro the way Lotro really is, and not just an idealized, super exciting version. When you get to Minas Tirith, you got to click on wall plaques. That's just part of the deal. So that's what we're going to do tonight. And hopefully I can get them all done, and we can go do something that's actually fun, too. But I've basically, except for the instances, finished Osgiliath. I've got some Slayer deeds to finish in Eastern, or in South Athelion, I should say, Eastern Gondor. But yeah, I got just about everything knocked out. So this is the ramp up to the top level, Gate of the Citadel. There's an old East Coast rapper that I really like, and I was surprised he never hit it bigger mainstream. He's not very well known. Guy named Schooly D. And there's an old Christopher Walken movie called King of New York. And it's, as far as movies go, it's probably a good excuse to eat popcorn. It's not a particularly great gangster film. But he plays a cocaine kingpin in the New York underworld. And he wants to get some of the other dope dealers together to actually do something good for the community. He wants to fund a children's hospital or do something noble. And the other guys aren't feeling it. And so the movie's about him. But most of the soundtrack to the movie is Schooly D. And it is terrific stuff. So if you're looking for something to watch because it rained over the 4th of July weekend, see if you can find King of New York available to stream somewhere. It's worth the watch, and you will love the soundtrack, or you will not love the soundtrack, and you will question taking rap advice from a middle-aged white dude from Nebraska. Either way, I enjoyed it, so that's okay. Your opinions may vary. You know, not everybody agrees with me. Some people drink Pepsi products. That's okay. Druid's Fire rated. Thank you, Druid's Fire. Looked like you've been having fun on Shadowfax also. The DOS Nerd, hey Big Ed, and hello everyone. Hello. Ponton says, I must have left before you asked that. Or you fell asleep at your keyboard because you were watching me. That happens to a lot of my viewers, Ponton. And Bacchus checking in. I'm doing good. Rap. About the only rap I ever listened to was the first Beastie Boys album. Beastie Boys are terrific. No doubt about it. In fact, when I do my Labor Day air show, I have a whole segment, 15 minutes, with a trio of Beastie Boys songs that I make the really good pilots fly to. One of them is called Low and Slow, which is appropriate for the air show. No Sleep Till Brooklyn, and I'd have to look at the air show schedule. I'm a little punchy. I was napping before the stream, so Nick was sitting here with me while I was still waking up going, what do I need to do to stream again? So I did figure it out, and that's why we're live. But Bacchus says I made up a Word document with all the different plaques and statues on each level, so I could tick them off as I did them. That's dedication right there. Druid's Fire says, here, have some Raiders. Awesome. Ponton says, you get a title that says you're a historian for clicking them all, but to me, just knowing only names and dates doesn't really make you a historian much. True story. Druid's Fire says, Professor Corey gave his keynote lecture on Eminem 2 years ago at Mythmoot, and then cosplayed him at the costume party later on. There's a really cool parody of No Sleep to Brooklyn called No Sleep Till Babylon about Babylon 5. Cool. So we'll start with King Telemether. He's super important, so I wanted to click on him first. Making stuff up. Like I said, I'm just going to start at the top and work my way down. I don't remember. I think I've already jumped off of the wall. Another fun thing I discovered Wednesday that apparently everybody in Middle-earth knew but me, you can actually go to your quest log and look up all of your completed quests in the entire history of your character. I had no idea. We were trying to figure out where I was in the wedding, and I'm like, I don't know if I ever started it or not. And they're like, well, go look. And I'm like, how do you look at a quest you've already completed? And they told me. Turns out you can do it. Then I was laughing. Gormabald was like, oh, I'm so glad that somebody was actually able to stump you with something. And I'm like, they could write a book about what I don't know. I'm not a smart man. Unlike Bacchus, I will not be ticking this off of my spreadsheet of statues and plaques. Just going to very carefully circle around, and when I see one, I'll click on it. And if I miss some, I'll have fun looking around for them. Going, how did I miss that? And I did like in the wedding scene where Gandalf spoke highly of Denethor. His family sacrificed an awful lot to keep Minas Tirith alive and kicking. Even though it was madness that broke him in the end, he still did his duty. Bacchus says, I've spent a lot of time staring at that completed quest logs trying to figure out where I've missed straight points. Yeah. Well, in fact, that's come up in discussion before, and I think people are like, you just need to go through and figure out which quests you haven't done. And I never had any idea how I was supposed to do that. Ponton will be right back. But because I'm getting close to having those 2 legendary items imbued, I'm going to need to have Minas Tirith unlocked so I can grind the dailies for scrolls. And I'm super stoked to do that because it's so fun. This is my excited face.
Oh,
In
it's
case you're not sure.
sarcastic.
Okay, maybe a little sarcastic. I don't know. Something I am excited about, Mrs. Mustafa hinted I might be getting nachos later. And then it's weird how there's some things you click on that don't count for anything and others that do. Okay. Miss Tirith dailies are a large part of why I dual box Lotro. Yeah. I've met the Warden of the Burg. Steward Denethor I, son of Dior. Son of Christian Dior? I do not know. But I believe it was Denethor II that just recently lit himself on fire and jumped off the pier. Which is a pretty baller way to go out. You got to give him some credit for that. Workings of the White City. Discovered the High Stables plaque. The Dome of the Sun. Hello, Dome of the Sun. And I was kind of wondering what being Prince of Ithilien means. It's like, congratulations, Faramir. You get to go rebuild Osgiliath. Good luck with that. Holy cow.
There's no funding and 12 troops.
All of my dreams and wishes have come true. I have Coke Zero and a gorgeous plate of nachos.
New salsa. Who are you playing with?
I'm by myself. SKDX Killer's in chat to keep me company. Do you like one?
Yeah, I want to taste one.
Okay.
I can't get one.
Bacchus says you need to marry that Lady Ed. She's a keeper.
I like that salsa.
Yummo. I think I have made the loop. So I know I got these already. Ponton is back with ice cream. Ponton, you just missed the unveiling of the nachos. They're not ice cream, but they're pretty good. And actually, she brought me an ice cream sandwich right after we ate dinner, so I've had my ice cream already. The Thirsty Seer. Taverns of the White City. Houses of Lore. Teachings of the White City. The Black House. I've discovered the Black House. And then there's some places with really interesting names that I don't know why they're here or what they're for. That's okay. What kind of ice cream are you eating, Ponton? We need to know.
Oh, excuse me.
Mm-hmm. Aren't you a little embarrassed that Mrs. Mustafa belches better than you do?
Mm-hmm. Keeps me up at night.
I figured. Try as you might, you'll never be half the woman she is, Nick.
Mm-hmm.
Met the Master Archivist, clicked on the Archives of Vonderdill. I think he was pretty excited to meet me, I can tell. Vanilla and ultra chocolate. I think you know that's going to beg a question. What's the difference between regular chocolate and ultra chocolate?
Mm-hmm.
Asking for a friend? Sounds pretty good, though. I know Druid's Fire's pretty fond of her ice cream.
We won't let our city fall.
Thieves confronted one. That guy was doing a lot of damage while I was still waiting for the animations to start. That was weird. I don't know, just what it says on the box, and it's good. Well, sometimes chocolate ice cream's not that chocolatey. Sometimes it's just a little chocolatey, but if it's really chocolatey, that would be better. Like if you've ever seen Dutch chocolate ice cream, Dutching is actually a technique that they use to enhance the flavor of chocolate. It was invented by the Dutch, but that's why it's called Dutch chocolate. The upper stores. Sure, I just clicked on both of these, right? Yeah. But it makes the chocolate more chocolatey, if that is a thing. I didn't realize there was a milestone up here. That's weird. Let's just put a random milestone just in the middle of town for no reason. I've discovered the House of the Heavens plaque. I just finished something. Completed Teachings of the White City. New deed, Explorer of the White City. It must have been the last plaque for one of the series. Okay. Ooh, and we've got a minstrel trainer up here. This is another tricky place because you got some statues in the back. Belector the First. Don't want to overlook him. Oradreth, son of Belector. Yeah, it looked like you had a dot on you. Should probably start eating that really high cocoa dark chocolate. Helps bring down blood pressure. Needs to be the 75% plus stuff, though. That's pretty dark. Eagle and the Sickle. I didn't remember this being a tavern up here. Apparently it's not one you can go into anyway. Steward Thorindir, son of Belector. That's another son of Belector. Him and his brother were both stewards, apparently. Hall of Air. Almost missed the sign. Or I didn't need to click on it. Go figure. Okay, nothing hidden in the back here. And there's a quest that'll bring me back later. We'll worry about that at the appropriate time. Looks like I'm ready to head down. Luckily, I like that stuff. A lot of people really don't. Daddy Hutch started eating a lot of dark chocolate for health reasons. He just figures if he's going to eat candy, he may as well eat healthy candy. Which is as good an excuse to eat candy as anything I can think of. But he used to keep dark chocolate on his desk. I myself also like dark chocolate. Don't know I'm a huge fan of something that dark. 75% cocoa, but you know, it's all good. Some places have a name but no deeds, such as the Hall of Air. That really dark stuff is amazing if you melt it into coffee, I'll bet. Yeah, it's interesting with cocoa and coffee both being developed from roasted beans. They are kind of similar in some respects. Although I am a much bigger fan of one than the other. I have a theory that people who like coffee aren't big tea drinkers, and people who drink tea aren't big coffee drinkers. And I myself am a tea drinker. I love iced tea, and I would much prefer to drink hot tea than coffee.
It's Arnold Palmer.
No, I don't like sweet tea. If I'm going to drink sweet, I just as soon drink soda pop. In fact, I've been drinking Coke Zero probably since about the time they launched it. There's the cisterns just waiting for me, Nick. I am excited to come to them. But every once in a while I still drink a Coke Classic just to remember the taste. I used to remember people saying, oh yeah, once you drink Diet Pop you won't be able to drink regular pop, it's too sweet. And I was like, that's not possible. And now I'm like, oof, that's too sweet.
Mondo will
Warden
regret
of the
challenging
Wells.
the walls of Minas Tirith.
Yeah, that can wait for another time. If I go into the cisterns, it'll just trigger my PTSD. Ginger says, I drink both coffee and tea, both black and green. Baka says, I really like tea, the milk and 2 sugars variety, but I try not to consume too much sugar, so I rarely drink tea. Kipio says, I'll help your theory. I love coffee and I hate things with tea in the name. There you go. Although both my dad and my grandmother were both big fans of coffee and iced tea, I don't ever remember either of them drinking hot tea. Do you have a preference for one or the other, Ginger? That's the question. Or do you love them both equally? You can say that's the case, even though we all know it's not true. This is like the Lotro version of Pokemon. I gotta catch them all. Where are those pesky plaques at? Every one of them. Steward Barahir, son of Hador. It's the cresting wave. Ginger says, I like them both equally. Coffee in the morning and tea in the afternoon and evening. Baka says, if I buy soda, it's typically iced tea. I quite like that. I like the slight bitterness of the iced tea. Goes good with a lot of different foods. Here in the States, we tend to drink a lot of iced tea with meals, I think. Like nachos. Iced tea goes really good with nachos. I'm still drinking Coke Zero with mine, but that's okay too. Eridan, son of Mardale. Mardale, son of Vorendil. The Lone Beacon. I've met the Master Architect. No, the Master Artist. The Tavern Keep. Artist's Fellow Hall. Not a thing. In Calamelthar, son of Narmasil. King Narmasil, son of Telemathar. High Guest House. The Blue Theatre. Steward Huron II, son of Hallis. Steward Hallis, son of Syrian. Not to be confused with George Hallis, the founder of the Chicago Bears. was always a shock to the system. My dad and I, every few years, would head down to Myrtle Beach with a couple of his golfing buddies. We'd spend a week down there just hanging out at the Fairfield Inn and golfing and hitting some of the local dining establishments. It was a great way to spend a week. We'd go down usually in mid-February. It would still be winter here, and it would be early spring there. So it'd be like 65 degrees and sunny, and we'd be down there in shorts and t-shirts, and the locals would all still have their winter coats on. And we'd go out to eat, and I'd order an iced tea without remembering where we were. And invariably, I'd end up getting served sweet tea and practically doing a spit take every time I tasted it. You're expecting this nice, cool, slightly bitter, not at all syrupy iced tea. You get a mouthful of sugar syrup. Because the way to make proper sweet tea, it is... Oh, I'm going to blank on the chemical term. It is a super solution? Basically, they stir in the sugar while the tea is still boiling hot, and the water can absorb more sugar than it can at room temperature. So it becomes super saturated with sugar, and it's extra, extra, extra sweet in a way that just stirring sugar into regular iced tea can never be. And it is quite the shock to the palate if you're not expecting it. But I'd get down to Myrtle Beach and order iced tea with a meal and then just have to send it back. I'm sorry, I meant unsweetened iced tea. Be like, is that really a thing? I'm like, yeah, I'm a Yankee. Sorry. The Mary Swan. I'm pretty sure I'll be coming back to this place again, too. Oof. King Arundel, son of Arundel. Oh, Anardil, son of Arundel. Okay. Reading is hard. Make sure I didn't miss anything. There's some tricky nooks and crannies around here. The middle stores. Court of Aernil. House of Rest. King Aernil, son of Siriandel. The Haven. Clothier's Market. Discovered the Clothier's Fellow Hall. I need to go in to meet what's his name. Where's he out here? Expert Tailor, Provisioner. No, I may actually have to go in there. In fashion, you're either in or you're out. Looks like it should be a full-service vault, but it's not. It's just window dressing. Here he is. At Habdir, Master Clothier. Hard Hit checking in. He says it's an ad. Hello, Hard Hit. Welcome, my friend. Crafter's Neath. Vaults of Rindamirith. Thank you, sweetie. I still have a few in the old box. So there's the vault. House of Clamor. Oh, there we go. I did have to click on the vault. Why did I not click before? Completed Vaults of the White City. I think that might have been kind of a gimme. This is the auction house. They're up here on tier 3. Welcome to the House of Craft. Weaponsmith's Guild. I was thinking there was somebody to meet in here. Oh, we've got another vault keeper in here. I don't think I knew that was there. All kinds of guild masters. We got a vault keeper. We got crafting places for everybody. Boy, we're not getting real good bandwidth through here. That's pretty interesting. Scholar stuff, forges. That is quite the laggy crafting hall. Yeah, if you saw the stream juddering, that was not the stream, that was the game. It's like, wow. 32 gigs of RAM, 8-core 16-thread processor running at 3.4 gigahertz. 8 gig, very, well, mid-range video card nowadays. It's not the latest generation, but it's more than powerful enough to run Lotro. I could barely get through there. So So that's the Smith's Market. There's a stable master. Guard of the Citadel. There's the Master Smith. And the Smith's Fellow Hall. Again, not something clickable. So who's got big plans for the 4th of July? Let's hear about it. Mrs. Mustafa and I are meeting some friends for dinner tomorrow. We're going out for Greek food. We're going to the airfield. Sunday we're going to our friend's lake house. We're going to hang out and cook out and barbecue and watch the fireworks on the lake. And I have Monday off. I'm super excited about it. Hammer and tongs. There's so many taverns on the first level of Minas Tirith, you'd think it was the Las Vegas Strip. Why are there so many pubs? Is Minas Tirith a college town? What the hell's going on? The brick and mortar. Bacchus, I know the 4th of July's got to be a huge holiday where you're at. What do you got planned? I'm kidding. He's not from the States. For those of you who don't know, the Declaration of Independence was signed on July 4th, 1776. It was the day that America told the British Empire to shove it. And after 40 or 50 years of scuffling about, we became fast friends and allies once again. Give or take the War of 1812 and the Revolution. Steward Egelmoth, son of Egelrith. Dior, son of Barahir. So Barahir is the grandfather of Denethil I. See, I am learning, Ponton. I'm becoming an historian. Of course, I won't remember that 5 minutes from now, but that's okay. Bacchus says, I remember Born on the 4th of July being a good movie. That was about the time Tom Cruise started to become a serious actor. Never saw that movie. I heard it's probably good, though. Ponton says, not much for the 4th. I got to back things up for family members in boxes. Oh, that doesn't sound like much fun. What's interesting about it is Labor Day and Memorial Day are big RC flying holidays for us, but the club doesn't really do much of anything on the 4th of July. Although they used to do a big fireworks display at Rosenblatt Stadium every year, which was near 2 of the flying fields in Iowa. So they'd always encourage their members to come down there and hang out at the field, so they could keep the great unwashed public from parking and driving all over their flying fields just to watch the fireworks displays. But since they moved the Royals out west and the College World Series to the new stadium downtown, I don't think that's much of a problem for them anymore. So I don't know there will be any flying events going on this weekend. Plus, usually the 4th of July is brutally hot here, so it's brutally hot or it's raining. It's miserable either way. We'll be sitting around with friends and laughing and telling stories and embarrassing them in front of their kids. And rain or shine, we will be having a good time on Sunday. Baka says, I can't remember much about it other than it's about a Vietnam vet, but I do remember it being good at least. And Tom Cruise can actually turn in a good performance when he wants, so it's worth checking out if you've not seen it before. Yeah, I don't dislike Tom Cruise as an actor. I even, believe it or not, I thought Vanilla Sky was a good piece of science fiction. I liked it. I'm the only one, but it's like, yeah, okay. I'm on the soldier's tier. I've made it down to level 2. Yeah, critics hated Vanilla Sky. I think I actually own it on DVD. I don't think I'd seen it, and I saw it just on like clearance somewhere for $5, so I just bought a copy. I think it's sitting out on the shelf out in the living room somewhere. It's the city jail. They spell jail funny. I shouldn't be standing around. Go lock up the withered tree people. I wouldn't have to whip so many of them. Baka says, I remember being so mad when he was announced as Lestat in Interview with a Vampire. Thought it was the worst casting choice ever, and then I watched it and had to eat my words. He was amazing in that role. Interesting fact, on July 4th, Thomas Jefferson and John Adams wrote the Declaration, then exactly 50 years later they both die on the same day, July 4th. That is an interesting fact. Another coincidence that I think I'd heard it before and it just didn't register. So tonight's quote is from the late, great Jim Morrison, lead singer of The Doors. In fact, I'll read the quote. A friend is someone who gives you the total freedom to be yourself. Big Doors fan, always enjoyed their music. And still do. Brian Jones from the Rolling Stones also passed away the exact same day 2 years previous to Jim Morrison passing. Both of them left this mortal coil on July 2nd. Brian Jones in 1969 and Jim Morrison in 1971. So if you're not an old guy like me and you're not familiar with the Doors or the Rolling Stones, yeah, you need to check them both out because you're missing the boat. But that is an interesting fact, Ponton. Thank you for sharing that with us. House of Laws. Workings of the White City complete. That was worth 30 marks and 500 rep points. They do make the plaque clicking worthwhile. That was also worth 5 Lotro points. I was just thinking at some point I probably need to go ahead and buy War of the Three Peaks because I've just been sitting on a big pile of Lotro points. May as well get the content unlocked. Although if I wait long enough, it may go on sale. You probably have 1 trillion, don't you?
I used all mine on boosts. The mithril coins.
Well, you've got a pretty steady flow. I actually have to work for mine.
Shh. I'm not a loser. I'm a bum.
That's okay. I'm pretty sure when I tell everybody all my secrets about how to play free-to-play, I usually go, wow, I think I'd rather just spend money.
I did.
I would not discourage that behavior. Hall of Watchers. Court of Turin. Steward Turin, son of Thorandir. Baka says, not really a fan of the Doors, but the Stones have got some good stuff. I forget where we were going to. I think we were going out to a football game at Wayne State, and I put together a Stones compilation disc. It was MP3s, so I was able to cram a couple 100 songs on there. And I mean, I'm not just talking about Hot Licks or the Stones. They do a lot of best of compilations. 40 Licks, I think it was called, where they had like 40 of their biggest hits on a CD collection. I've got them all. I've got them all the way back to the original albums from the early 60s. And I was just playing a bunch of old songs and B-sides and stuff that you don't hear on the radio. And whoever was in the car with us was like, I don't like the Rolling Stones. And then about 20 minutes into the car trip, she's like, oh, this is really good stuff. I haven't heard this stuff before. It's like, yeah, okay. Considering the thousands of hours of music the Stones have recorded, if you've heard 5 songs on the radio and you're not sure you're a big fan of any of them, you haven't really heard the Rolling Stones. The Doors is another band that I think if people got into the discography, if they really listened to the albums, there's a lot of stuff that never gets played on the radio that's really good. Morrison Hotel, I think, is a fantastic album, and I would challenge anybody who claims to be a rock fan to listen to that album and not love the Doors. A lot of their more experimental stuff that's a little moodier and brooding and longer. Morrison Hotel is none of that, and it's a really good album. There might be a couple of weird cuts, but it's just a great, straightforward rock album. You discovered the plaque of Steward Barragond Belachest. The Mumak and Keep. Are we finally ready to head down to Tier 1? I may get through all of the plaques and statues, Nick, and still have the will to live.
Oh my god.
We shall see. And speaking of the Doors, not that I've watched the movie, but Val Kilmer is another actor who can be surprisingly good when he wants to be. That was apparently one of his better roles. I heard that he really wanted the role, too. He spent a lot of time basically campaigning for it. Yeah, Val did some good stuff. Not my favorite Batman, but So there's a fun topic of conversation. Favorite Val Kilmer movies. I remember Real Genius getting mentioned fondly by some people. Tombstone? Oh, it's Doc Holliday, yeah. Yeah, that was very good. Salton Sea is also really good. I remember him being a FBI agent investigating a murder on a federal Indian reservation. I don't remember the name of the movie. I've discovered the Wrights Fellow Hall. I'm going to do this last tier by horseback. This is a very big tier. And there are a lot of plaques down here on the first level. To get down off of my high horse. Heat and Kiss Kiss Bang Bang also come to mind. Thunderheart, there you go, Gipio, thank you. Heat. I don't know that Heat's a great movie. I don't know that Val Kilmer was bad in it. This seemed very ponderous. King Cyrindil, son of Aernil. Oh, Cyrindil, come here, boy. King Cyrindil, son of Atanatar. Atanatar?
Pat Benatar.
Son of Pat Benatar.
Yeah.
Hit me with your best shot. There's the secret door to the cisterns. I said I was going to ride this last tier out, and then I had to get down off of my horse. The Laughing Halfling. That would be the bar I would hang out in. That sounds like my kind of tavern. Boom. That's a really lovely carving. I don't think I've ever noticed that before. Interesting. As far as I know, these are the nearest vendors from the main gate, so I actually ride in back here all the time to sell stuff. Completed Masters of Minas Tirith. I've earned the title The Outgoing. Oh, I am piling on virtue points for this stuff too. Very good. Yeah, this is super boring and super productive at the same time, so it needs to be done. I appreciate all you guys hanging out and chatting with me while I'm doing this. Let's face it, if you guys were wanting like riveting, exciting Lotro play, nobody would ever be watching me. Sometimes you just want to watch a little fat guy eat nachos. Nick, you were supposed to defend me and be like, no, Ed, you're awesome. We all love watching your riveting content. There you go. Try to sound a little more sincere, though, next time. Oh, HDN. Keep it classy. Potton says Tombstone was good. I know they made tons of films about Wyatt Earp, but that one was the best. Keep of the Keys. Looks like I'd gotten that one already. People wanted a bunch of foul-mouthed swearing, they'd come and watch me play Apex Legends. Although that's really been going pretty well, and I've enjoyed playing on the old maps again. Although that that Skulltown Arenas map comes up so often, I think I've gotten my fill of Skulltown again already. That's been fine. It's not really a dynamic enough map to want to play it over and over and over and over. Plus, I'm almost done with that event. I'm at 4,000 of 5,000 event points. Looks like I'd gotten most of the stuff down here on the first level already. I remember telling myself not to click on it so that I could just come in and do it all at once. But it looks like I might have gotten a jump start. I feel ashamed. I feel dirty and cheated. Okay, not really.
All your fault.
Northern Guest House. Yeah, it's funny how Hollywood likes to do the same project at the exact same time as another studio for no reason. It's like Deep Impact and Armageddon, Wyatt Earp and Tombstone. There's got to be 100 more examples like that, where two studios will basically work on the exact same movie at the exact same time. Baths. Here's one I didn't have yet. Steward Harrion, son of Eridan. Good deal. Discovered the Foodmonger's Fellow. That popped another one. Ooh, completed. Known to Minas Tirith. This is where you can find all of the different Taco Bells in Minas Tirith, right here in this one plaza. In the future, all restaurants will be Taco Bell. Sandra Bullock, Demolition Man. So Mrs. Mustafa out of the blue last week was like, you know, I don't mind Sandra Bullock. I like her as a person, but I don't like any of her movies. I was like, what about The Blind Side? She was like, well, that was okay, but it wasn't really a Sandra Bullock movie. Like,
Speed.
really? Yeah, Speed was awful. Taverns of the White City complete. Wheel and Cask was the last one I needed for that. I think I have just a couple more kings to click on and we're about done. Or in this case it might be stewards. Sirion Gwadhir, son of Boromir. Ooh, the original Boromir. Who knew? The stewards of Gondor really like to recycle names, apparently. Ah, the Stone Theater. Now for the big question. What am I missing? I don't think there's going to be anything in here to click on. Confront opportunistic thieves. We got anything back here? Anything to click on? Not so much. I think I'm still missing a steward or two. Those going to be in my deeds panel, Nick? Gondor, Far Anorian, March of the King, Old Anorian, Orc Slayer, Haradrim Slayer, Easterling Slayer, Beast Slayer, Plaques of the White City, 1 of 2. I may have to pull out the reading glasses. It appears I am missing a statue or two. Line of Kings, 31 of 33. I'm missing 2 king statues. And the stewards, I'm missing 1. Wardens of Minas Tirith, I'm missing 1. House of Lore? How'd I miss him? He's clear up on the 6th tier, I think. Oh, he might be inside the Dome of the Sun. I don't think I went in there. That would explain that one. captains of Minas Tirith. I'm missing one of those. Captain of the South Gate. Oh, I haven't been out to the South Gate. That would explain that easily enough. Man, can you believe as thorough as I just ran through all of this, I actually missed a couple. Well, these might be these, though. I don't remember. Yeah, I clicked on these. King Telemar Sintavarda, son of Minardil. Those were definitely clicked on earlier. Steward Boromir, son of Denethor. Oh, this is the last plaque. I missed him. This will complete stewards. Still can't believe I missed a couple of kings. Pon says, yeah, they do sometimes make one film or another about the same story. Most recently with the 2 Jungle Book films. Slayer deeds are pretty easy, at least. Just do circuits through the camps between the city and Osgiliath. Yeah. Baka says, hence the checklist I made. You know me, Bacchus, I like to do things really half-assed. It's how I roll. Yeah, I kind of have to. Where is that fishing pole? So there's my first age sword, level 68 with a bullet. And I was complaining about it Wednesday. I have to give props to Gwar. I was giving Gwar a bunch of grief about not getting his Trout Master finished. I spent hours the other night fishing for trout and could not pull it up. You must be facing a body of water. The spectacular fountain is not fishable? Wow, what a shame. I can't believe that. Why would this not be fishable? Is this one fishable? This one's fishable and the big square one is not. This is a much smaller fountain. Alright, Nick, cut a memo to Cordovan immediately and let him know that fountain needs to be fishable. I will not stand for this outrage.
You'll be get right on that.
Okay. I caught a pike. That's actually a good sign. Normally if you're catching pike, that was good for a point of fishing skill too. I'm at 176. It's going to be embarrassing if I get to Lady of Streams. I haven't finished Trout Master yet, so. Courageous Carp. Well, the rule is 3 casts, 3 catches, and then I've completed fishing. Lotro logic, the smaller the better. I just like that you can pull, that was another point of fishing, and a dirty skull. You can pull a 50-pound salmon out of the Swan Fountain in Dol Amroth. You know what I should have done, Nick, is I should have made a checklist. I don't know why nobody told me to do that. Just kidding. So somewhere there are a couple of kings I forgot to click on. You want to look them up for me in the wiki? SKDX Killer. Don't tell me he passed out at his computer face first, too.
You say?
You want to look up these two kings for me in the wiki and at least tell me what level they're on?
Sure.
Let's see who I'm missing. Got yellow letters on a gold background, make it tough for an old guy to read. One of them is King Turambar. And the other one is King... Oh, good lord. Higher Mendigil. Turambar and Higher Mendigil. Where's that stable master? Alright, let's get me up to the high stable.
These are troublesome times indeed.
Says it's on the pier
Oh, interesting. Both of them?
for Turambar, at least.
Okay.
What was the other one?
It had about 17 syllables. Let's check and see. Higher Mendigil. That's alright. It gives me time to eat nachos while I'm writing.
Also the pier.
Yeah, it's weird. Can't believe I missed two of them right up on the pier. That's where I started. I am not a smart man. I was thinking of you when I said it, Hard Hit. Mrs. Mustafa made salmon for dinner. If you're wondering about the quality of salmon at an Omaha, Nebraska supermarket, it's about as delicious as you think it should be. And then it's only made better by Mrs. Mustafa's deft handling of it in the kitchen. I think she made me nachos to kind of help make up for dinner. I have a little bit of cheese and salsa still stuck to the plate. I'm not proud. I'll try to get it scraped up here. Yummy. Hey, Canna. That's about right. You and Hard Hit are two peas in a pod. Mrs. M should be worried. Don't be jealous. And hello, Canna. We missed you Wednesday, Canna. We didn't have our favorite tank with us, so instead of doing Osdeneth, we went to the wedding. Hopefully we'll have you and Gipio on Wednesday, and we can go get wrecked in Osdeneth some more. Adventures on Evernight is on my channel. Oh, that's the one thing I forgot to do, Nick. You remember I was having trouble remembering how to set up the stream? I was still a little groggy when I got here. Come by my personal channel on Wednesdays at 10 o'clock Eastern, and we'll be up to something. Candace says, sorry couldn't join. My wife just had surgery and I was busy being a husband. I'll be back next week. That's okay. We understand. It's just I'm really struggling with a lot of abandonment issues since Zinger has cut out on me. Okay, where did I say I was going? Let's go to the Dome of the Sun. Then I can head up to the pier, and then we'll clean up the rest of this nonsense. I think there's somebody inside the Dome of the Sun I have to discover. That was the point of that. Oh, I know it's not very vogue to say anything nice about Electronic Arts. I had a problem with an alternate account for one of their games, without getting too specific on the details. And I had to contact their customer service to get it straightened out. And they got like somebody there right away, talking to me in chat, completely understood the problem I was describing, and was like, yeah, we'll get right on that. And it took them a day or two to get the account straightened out, but they got it done, and it was like, awesome, thanks. Well, there's the chief scribe. Maybe there isn't anybody in here I need to discover or talk to. Alright, shows you what I know. There's the counselor. Boy, some of these indoor areas. It's not the stream that's chopping, folks. It's the game. Pont says, I don't think the Zinger of the Fun. Don't think the Dome of the Sun. You think Zinger maybe finally found a woman? House of Lore's down a level. Alright, I'll get these two statues up on the pier and then we'll head down. Or is it down a level? You must be inside the House of Lore. Alright, where are these two jack wagons I missed out on the pier? Not him, and not him. Oh, wait, I did say Terrandor, didn't I? Nope, I got him already. Okay. Not him, I got him. Which means I'm sure I already got him too. Nope, this is one of them here. Who the heck else did I miss? There's one. I can't believe I walked right past both of these to get to the others. Boy, talk about not paying attention. Wow, look at those pop.
Hey, I did good.
Whole bunch of stuff. Nicely done, Nick.
Yeah.
Completed the Line of Kings. Completed Plaques of the White City. Completed the Statues of Minas Tirith. That popped a whole bunch of stuff. Rep came pouring in, and Minas Tirith silver pieces came pouring in. It was glorious. I was watching you guys play the wedding instance. That's a good laugh. I needed it after fighting those warbands. Here's the scribe of the houses of lore. Yeah, it took a lot longer than it should have, too. Met Idrahenel, Warden of the Houses of Lore. Completed Wardens of Minas Tirith. Alright, well, what else was left on the list? Captains. I'm missing one captain. Oh, Captain of the South Gate. Okay. I know right where he's at. All too well, I'm afraid. I went out to the North Gate on my way to Christost. I had to unlock a early deed in Farinorian so I could turn in some rep items that I'd passed over from another character. I don't think my War Street's quite drawn in yet. That's pretty funny. He's got a basic model that's just sort of floating across the landscape. There he goes. He finally got drawn in after a few hundred yards. I gotta love it. Not here. Here we are. Do we actually have a stable master here? I don't see one. I guess I will have to do this manually. Yeah, don't ride over the side, Ed. I feel like I've ridden too far. Because I've ridden too far.
Alright, I'm getting off.
Alright, man. Thanks for hanging out. Hopefully we'll get a chance to play something sometime. I'll be around all day Monday probably, so...
Alrighty.
Peace out, and have a good weekend.
Your aid.
Yeah, after the wedding, we did get the Helm's Dyke 6-man done again. We did pick up some extra promotion points, so that was productive. I'm at 188 now on Mandalinia. There we go. I don't know what was going on there. Okay, another topic of conversation for chat, and I kind of broached the subject with Nick before we got online tonight. I am very seriously thinking about replacing my gaming chair. This is a Homail chair I paid $105 for on Newegg. It's been terrific. It's been surprisingly good. It's comfortable. It's held up well. The pleather and the stitching have held up well. The chair is still as sturdy as when it was brand new, although I think I do have a bolt that's starting to wiggle a little bit loose on the right arm. Mrs. Mustafa pulls the chair around by that arm when she comes into vacuum, so it just tends to loosen up a bit over time. I just need to tighten it back up. It's been a great chair, but the problem is I sit in this thing for 8 hours, I get up out of it, and then 5 or 6 nights a week I come back in and I sit down in it for another 4 to 6 hours. It gets a ton of use. And the padding is kind of worn down, and I just feel like as much as I'm in my computer chair, since I'm working from home, I kind of want to treat myself and get a really nice comfortable chair, but at the same time, I've had more expensive chairs that weren't as comfortable. And I know a lot of these gaming chairs come out of a Chinese factory, and a lot of them are all the same chair, just with different branding and different trim schemes on them. So I'd hate to spend $250 and find out that I just basically rebought my $100 chair for more money. But I am curious about what everybody thinks about gaming chairs. If you've spent the money on a Vertigear or a DX Racer or a Noble chair and you really think they're worth the money, you've been just extremely pleased and they were more comfortable than you ever dreamed possible, if you've had a bad experience. So the other problem I have with this chair is the air piston has worn out and it will not stay up. As soon as I sit in it, it just starts to deflate essentially. And for some reason they don't make replacement pistons available. If I could just get an air piston for it, it would probably be okay to keep the chair. Because I think if it had a little more spring in the bottom, it wouldn't be as uncomfortable to sit in for as long as I sit in it, because there's no spring, there's no shock. I sit against the bottom of the chair. But I don't really want to jack around with replacing parts on a $100 chair. I don't really want to order a replacement air piston and find out it's not quite the right size. It's just like, you know, I could just order another chair. But is there a magical chair out there that's so comfortable I can't live without it? Is it a waste to spend $300 or $400 on a gaming chair? I told Nick that I was kind of eyeballing. Noble Chairs has a Fallout Edition gaming chair that's bright blue and yellow, and it's really gorgeous looking, and I'd love to get it. It's out of stock, and it's $500. Probably, as much as I love Fallout, I don't know it would be substantially more comfortable than a less expensive chair. And my primary goal is comfort, especially over long periods of sitting. Hearted says, I'd just raffle it off when you go get a Coke. Okay. That's what I need. I haven't even gotten 100 promotion points. You know, anytime, Canna, if you want to hop on, we can run some Epic Battles duo. We can do 3-mans. So there are actually some 3-man ones that would be good to run a couple times. There we are, met Turgon, Captain of the South Gate. That's all of them.
When the time comes to fight, we'll be
Integrity
ready.
of the Rammus done. New deed, Quests of Pelennor.
When the time comes to fight, we'll be ready.
Speak with Tafadan, the stubborn farmer. So, are you saying your bottom's out? Yes, I am. Baka says, yeah, when buying a good gaming chair, apparently you shouldn't buy a gaming chair. Lando says, most are gimmicky. Get a task chair. They're designed for long hours or office work. My old chair, I went to Nebraska Furniture Mart, and I had their big man's office chair. It was big, it was plush, it was all metal, and the pleather came peeling up in strips off of this thing after it lasted for a while. I had it for a couple, 3 years, but at the end, I mean, the pleather on it, the vinyl was just peeling up, and even though it was cushiony, it wasn't comfortable to sit in for a long time. I actually like my current $100 gaming chair better than that $250 office chair. I had a not inexpensive chair before. It should have been more comfortable than it was. It wasn't comfortable. It was bigger, it was bulkier, it was more padded, and it frankly, I couldn't have worked in it the way I work in this chair. I was surprised when I bought this chair, because at the time I bought this, I was still working at the data center. I wasn't working from home, and I thought, you know, I don't really need that expensive of a chair, because I thought about getting a DX Racer back then, and you know, I just wanted to get rid of that old office chair because it was just peeling up on me, and it was a very big bulky chair designed for larger frames, and it wasn't that comfortable. So I've been the premium office chair route and not been happy. The gamer chair seems to work for me. I just want to see if there's a better, more comfortable gaming chair. You can check the refurb chair market. You can get huge discounts on some. I got a Leap V2 when COVID started. Loving it so far. Bacchus says there's a Logitech chair that's apparently decent. Other than starting around $1,200. Yeah, and I'm trying to remember Luke from Linus Tech Tips, the guy who runs Float Plane for Linus. He went and bought a special kind of ergonomic office chair, and I mean, they weren't cheap. It was, I think, you know, it's like, I looked them up and it was like a $700 or $800 chair or something. And I have enough discretionary income that I don't Mrs. Mustafa and I live a bit below our means. Our means seem to be shrinking, so it's a good thing. But I've got some discretionary income, so if I wanted to buy an $800 or $1,200 office chair, I could do it. It wouldn't be that big of a deal. But at the same time, you know, I don't like parting with money I don't have to part with, because there's always something else I need it for. And as I've mentioned on stream a few times, like one of the things I'm doing to live frugally right now, I turned in my car when my lease was up in December, and I've been basically without a car for, hell, 7 months now. Well, 6 months anyway. It was the end of December when I turned it in. But I mean, you know, Mrs. Mustafa's not working. I'm working from home. We didn't really need 2 cars. So I've just been enjoying not having a car payment or car insurance. Here's the stubborn farmer. At some point I need to go get a car. That's going to require licensing it, which is not inexpensive in Nebraska. You know, there's just, if I don't have to piss money away on an $800 office chair, I'd rather not. So yeah, that's a thing. PC Gamer says Secret Lab chairs are good. Look to start at $350. Margon says I got a Clutch brand gaming chair that's good for guys my size. We might be around the same size. Okay, Margon, thanks for that. So Clutch brand, Secret Labs. Well, and you know, it's tough unless you get a chance to sit in them. Nebraska Furniture Mart actually started carrying gaming chairs. I've got a Mart account. I can charge whatever I want. They'll deliver it right here. I don't even have to go to the store to pick it up. They've got a Rosie. They've got Corsair. They've got some other stuff. I've looked at the GT racing chairs that look a lot like the Homail chairs. And like I said, $105 for this chair. It's been terrific. It's a really good chair. It's you get some of these $100 gaming chairs. I mean, they may not be your cup of tea, but I've been very pleasantly surprised with this chair. It's just gotten to the point where the padding's all crushed down, and the gas piston, it only has one height setting, which is bottomed out. And if it had a little more cushion in the air piston, if it had a little more cushion in the seat cushion, and I've actually tried putting a cushion on top of the bottom of the chair, and it actually hurts more than if I don't sit with it, which I don't understand either. So I wish I could remember the brand of chair that Luke
Every
bought.
minute feels like hours. We can only prepare
Collect
so
some
much.
farm tools. Okay, we'll do that. I am big pimpin' out here in Olden, Oregon. I am rounding up the hose. I know it was a lame, easy joke, but I felt like it needed to be said. Felt like it would have been awkward if I hadn't made the joke about rounding up the hose. I looked at Walmart, I looked at Amazon. You can get a GT Racing brand chair from Walmart for $89 with free delivery. You can get a Homail racing chair from Amazon for $89 with free delivery. So there are some good replacement chairs in the $90 range that, you know, if it were a new chair with a working gas piston and non-crushed cushions, you know, I could give this chair to Mrs. Mustafa. I could give it to my nephew. And just roll on. But I wouldn't be that much happier with a replacement chair. Plus, I kind of picked this one out. I thought the red, black, and white was particularly garish. And part of the reason I ordered it is I knew Mrs. Mustafa would hate it. Thank you, Pookie. She did bring me a fresh, crisp Delicious Coke Zero. Wow. Bottle slick. Let me switch over to my right hand to unscrew the cap. You weren't going to sit here and bug me while I'm streaming, were you?
Mm-hmm.
You poor thing. Feel bad you're going to be so disappointed. Love you. Ah, that's good stuff. You should drink a sip of Coke Zero, honey. It might make you feel better.
My burp.
Well, it'll definitely help with that. So I truly don't know if a DX Racer chair would be any more comfortable than my $105 special here. One problem I have is I can't buy a chair that's as ugly as this one for the same amount of money. I'd have to go up in price to find anything this tacky looking, which is one of the reasons why I liked this chair so much. The other chairs that are available are similarly styled, but not. They're usually just black and one other accent color. Swarm of blight flies. Does your wife play Lotro? Mrs. Mustafa does not. I won't say never plays video games. She is not a gamer. She likes Tetris. She doesn't play it. She liked Bust a Move, the bubble popping game. Hasn't played that in a long time.
Mahjong.
She likes playing Mahjong, although she doesn't play Mahjong. When was the last time you played a game, honey, and what was it?
Tuesday. Mahjong.
Really? Okay. I did not know. She video games in private, so she doesn't have to endure my encouraging her. But she's not really much of a Tolkien fan either. She was, quote, forced to read The Hobbit in school. So she just thinks of Tolkien as an old English class assignment. And not something to be enjoyed or revered. You're not really much of a fan of any kind of science fiction or fantasy, are you? She likes dragons, though, so she would tolerate Game of Thrones as long as it was an episode with the dragons on it. And there are plenty of dragons in the Lord of the Rings Online, honey. But we normally kill them. We don't, like, admire how beautiful they are.
If Scooby-Doo had a game, I would play it.
Which game?
Scooby-Doo.
Scooby-Doo games? There've got to be plenty of Scooby-Doo
There's probably
games.
some.
The South Park games were screamingly hilarious. The Hobbit is the most sold book ever, or at least way up there. What if I told you there was a cool new game based on the Rifleman called Red Dead Redemption, honey? Would you want to play that?
What?
It's basically the Rifleman video game.
I did like Duke Nukem.
Oh, Duke Nukem 3D?
And Wolfenstein.
Wolfenstein. She did like Wolfenstein 3D.
Wolfenstein.
Wolfenstein. Mrs. Mustafa's Atari Jaguar and her copy of Wolfenstein 3D for the Atari Jaguar now belong to Cordovan. A few years ago, I heard him mention on stream that he was a big Atari fan and about the only Atari system he never owned. He was a starving college student when the Jaguar came out, and he never got one. And Mrs. Mustafa's was still in our garage in the box in like new condition with a couple of games. And so I just asked Cordovan where I should send something for him. He's like, it's not illegal, is it? I'm like, no, it's safe for work. And so I just packed up her Jaguar with all the original box and packing and the controllers and the AC adapter and her copy of Cybermorph, the original pack-in game, and her copy of Wolfenstein 3D, and just shipped them off to Cord. And he actually did a Jaguar stream. His personal channel is MockDuck here on Twitch. And I was kind of laughing because he showed all of my high scores on Cybermorph without clearing them. So if you ever wanted to know what's Big Ed Mustafa's real last name, Cordovan was kind enough to display it on his TV on that stream. So you can all go watch that and look and see if you can read it. So Mrs. Mustafa has done some gaming, but she's not a Tolkien fan. And Lotro is far, far beyond her potential attention span. Where did that farmer go? Oh, look around for any more farm tools. Your eye catches one more tool out in the field. The raiding party comes along. Fought off Haradrim. Okay, now that that raiding party of 2 Haradrim is dead, I can return to the old man. For those of you who haven't heard the tales before, I used to own a video game store here in Omaha. Game Doctor is your prescription for fun. And we were one of the largest Atari dealers in the Midwest at the time. We liked the Jaguar and we sold a lot of Jaguar systems. I still have mine along with my Atari Jaguar CD player and my entire library of games. It's all out in the... Well, I've got the games on a shelf in the living room, and the system and all the adapters and controllers are out in the garage somewhere. I think I actually have a spare console, but it's missing a couple of pieces. I don't think the AC adapter's with it. But I had a friend who bought one from me, and he was like, yeah, I don't play this Jaguar anymore, you want it? I was like, sure, I'll take it. And I just added it to the pile. But, you know, I just got to the point years ago where I had my consoles and I just wasn't playing them. Got a lot of cool old console stuff. Dreamcast, original PlayStation, PlayStation Portable, original Xbox. I've got a TurboGrafx 16 with a copy of the original Splatterhouse. I've got my Nintendo 64, my Nintendo GameCube. I've got an Atari Lynx handheld console. And I don't play any of it. It just sits. Of course, we've got so much crap here at home that I wouldn't even have wall sockets to plug most of that stuff in. But 2 computers, a home theater setup, a lot of battery charging equipment for cameras and radio control stuff. So, yeah, that's a problem. What am I supposed to be looking for? Find the area where the sheep are going to. Okay, I know where that is. That's back by the caverns. Ethlisoth says, good morning. Hello. Margon says, Kaliko. I don't remember how to spell it. That's correct. In fact, it's kind of funny, but when the PlayStation and Sega Saturn came out, we weren't huge fans of the Saturn. I didn't think it was a bad system, but we had somebody bring a PlayStation back from Japan about 6 months to a year before it launched in the States. And at the time, the original Ridge Racer, the original Tekken, and Toshinden, I mean, those were jaw-droppingly good titles. What really sold me on the PlayStation, though, and filled me with PlayStation lust. It's hard to describe now. Resident Evil was so different than anything else that was around at the time. That was a system seller for the original PlayStation. And we had people who were like, yeah, I don't think I want to buy a new console. It's like, really? This is Resident Evil, and they just hand you money. I mean, it was pretty extraordinary back in the day. And, you know, I was talking about this with SKDX Killer. I think one of the things that kind of got me out of consoles was they just really haven't had that one killer app. I had considered buying a PlayStation because of the Last of Us. I thought The Last of Us sounded intriguing enough that it's like, yeah, I'd really like to play that, and they're not going to bring out a PC version. Zelda's like that for Nintendo. When the Switch came out, it was like, really? They're doing another tablet-style console? Didn't the last one not go over well? And I've always said kudos to Nintendo for sticking to their guns. They usually tend to buck market trends and end up proving to be right. They put stuff on the market nobody else would dare to, and then they do it well enough that they're successful with it. Plus, the quality of their first-party games are really, really good. Always have been. I'm going to stand out here and kill Herodrum all night. Let's get back to the farm here. I need to defeat Morgul scouts. Where are the Morgul scouts I need to defeat? He's a warg rider. We'll defeat him too. He ran away. He knew I was coming for him. I think The Last of Us is coming to the PC. Let me check that. Herky-Mad checking in says, how's it going here? Good, Herky. How are you? Yeah, it's years late, but I would definitely be interested in playing it. That's a lookout, not a scout. Maybe that's the same thing. Nope. Lookouts are not scouts, Pookie. Oh, I think the scouts are the orcs that are trying to scale the wall. They're all back here. Yep, that's the whole thing. Her kit. Speaking of Resident Evil, Herky was just playing Resident Evil 6. There's a guy who's been streaming some Lotro. We'll get Herky Mad and Lord Smooches shouted out. Druid's fire rated earlier, but I feel like shouting her out on Lotro stream would be kind of superfluous. If you don't know Druid's fire, you ain't been watching Lotro stream. Clear that poison and heal up. Seems you can run the PS3 version through an emulator on PC, though you need a beefy machine. I've got a beefy machine. Ryzen 2700, 32 gigs of RAM, Radeon 5700 XT. If that ain't beefy enough, then it ain't a very good emulator. Of course, I would suspect I could probably buy a Used PS3 pretty cheap by now. There we go. That dude was annoying. Kept trying to throw that Timeless Echoes of Battle on him and he just kept interrupting it. So I just decided to kill him. Let's head back to the farm here. Streaming, honey. You get me all to yourself all the time. These poor people have been waiting all week to see me. She doesn't know. I can tell her anything.
We won't let our city fall.
He's gonna take his sheep and go. Good one, honey. Your foot still bothering you? You poor thing.
We can only hope that the Rohirrim will arrive before it's too late. Is this your first time in Minas Tirith? Shame you couldn't see it in better days. We can only hope that the Rohirrim will arrive before it's too late.
We ride for the hillock and for glory. He is munching on pizza rolls. Jella said, thought so. You know it. In fact, Mrs. Mustafa, just to play with my emotions the other day, was like, what 3 toppings would you want on a pizza? I'm like, sausage, pepperoni, and either onion or mushroom. And then I think she made chicken for dinner. It's like, why? Why would you ask me that? That's just mean. Like, yeah, I know pizza sounded good. Here's my cooking instead. She is a mean mistreater. And it kind of begs the question, why do Totino's pizzas suck so hard when their pizza rolls are delicious? Got this confluence of bad guys moving in on me here. Last night it was chicken stir fry. The chicken was overcooked and salty. It wasn't too bad. But she put like little pieces of bok choy in the stir fry, and it was really limp and wilted. And then the rice was cooked to death and just mushed into a paste. It's like, why would you be putting an Asian stir fry on top of poi? And then I was like, oh wait, I think this is just badly cooked rice. Still, it was all pretty edible. Figured I'd pull that warg, but if I ran through, I'd only have to fight the warg and not the orc he was sitting next to. The warg appears to be confused and stuck to a rock. Kind of reminds me of somebody else I know. It's funny to think that warg's down there right now going, I'm in a wall. I'm in a wall. He gave up and went back. Okay. The 2021 producer's letter is out. That's very exciting. Hey Ed, you've got a war steed. Why aren't you riding on it? Because I would be in very real danger of accidentally drawing so much aggro that as soon as I stopped or got knocked off of my horse, I would get insta-wrecked, so I'm trying to avoid that. That would be bad. I think one of the captains might be up here. I think I'm looking for some named orcs. Maybe not. I'm just trying to figure out where this hill is I'm supposed to be. There we go, something lit up over here. Defeat many orcs. Morgul. Oh good, I can cut right directly underneath here. Morgul Warg. Morgul Crusher. Stoneheaver. Well, who am I supposed to be fighting over here? None of these are the right guys. Alright, well, I'm just going to crush this troll for fun. One back there somewhere. Thought there was a named captain around here somewhere. I ain't finding him. These guys are just regular enemies. Bacchus is heading out, running out of steam. Going back to bed for a while. Thanks for hanging out, Bacchus. Have a good one. We'll talk to you soon, bud. This isn't the hilltop. Maybe it's that hilltop. No, those captains are behind me. I'm definitely heading towards the right hilltop at least. Alright, we'll work on that. And I'll hunt down the captains later. Yeah, I remember coming out here on my champion. I'd had just a bad day at work and was just kind of in a mood. And I needed to kill like 300 Easterlings. So I came out here and just killed 300 Easterlings. It was very therapeutic. And the warband is a full fellowship warband, so we'll be trying to avoid them. There we are. Let's send this Haradrim archer reeling. One! Ponton is heading out. Good night, Ponton. Have fun. Slayer deeds are an easy way to compare Apex. See what kind of anti-gravity device is in this backpack. Alright, I kind of need to be careful. I don't want to draw a bunch of archers. That's weird. It drew one archer but not the other. So I dropped back to lure that other archer away from the archer he was standing next to. I let the wolf chew on me while I picked off the archer. Seemed like the right thing to do. So I know a lot of folks have been hitting Shadowfax and Treebeard. I am interested to hear if anybody is playing Shadowfax at a high difficulty level. I'm curious how that is. That's something I would like to try, but alas, no VIP. Ooh, half-trolls. I hate half-trolls. Half-trolls are not friendly to minstrels. There we go. Be very quiet. I'm hunting Hawadwam. See, in my mind, that Elmer Fudd impression sounds terrific. When I play it back on stream later, I'll be cringing at it. Oh God, Ed, shut up. Why did you do that? Because I'm hunting Hawadwam. See, I think that sounds good. It probably sounds terrible. Of course, most of you are out there going, who the hell's Elmer Fudd? He was a world-renowned Hawadwam hunter. Hello, Hawadwam. There's no scholar stuff out here. Alright, chat. On a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being perfect and 0 being unrecognizable, please rate my Elmer Fudd impersonation. Be very quiet. I'm hunting wabbits. I fully expect the Russian judge to crap all over me, but the rest of you I'm imploring to be fair. Ooh, there's one of them. Vortiger went down. How are you still alive, he asked. 'Cause I'm better than you. That's how. Fel Tundelf is on fire. Damn it, half troll. get through here? So many half-trolls. Wow, I can't believe I got him down before he swung at me. He did not get the stun off in time. Yeah, I'll just fight this archer. And apparently this warrior. Not getting a lot of feedback about that Elmer Fudd impersonation. Just feeling a little sensitive and vulnerable. My viewership on YouTube for the replays has dropped way off since Zinger quit playing with me. I think it's because Zinger was the actual eye candy for YouTube, even though he never actually appeared on camera. So that kind of hurts my feelings. It's like Mrs. Mustafa thinks I'm handsome in a weird kind of way. It's another hillock. Or is it the same hillock? I do not know. It looks like there should be a boss up here somewhere. Sorcerer, archers. If there's a boss up here, I don't see him. Gotta be close though, I don't have a ring. Sorcerer or War Master. It's a combo I don't particularly want to run into. Yep, we aggroed a couple archers. Alright. wonder if he's not in this big tent and I'm going to have to fight my way in there. That is not going to be fun. There is a lot to aggro over here. He's got my number. Oh man, this is going to tick me off. So I get the half troll done and I end up dying to the stupid sorcerer. Not cool. Half trolls are not my friend. Scrolls, Ed, where are the scrolls? There's the scrolls. He's back already? He just killed me. Oh, crap. Well, I'm totally dead. Where's that flop? I can't flop? Why can't I flop? I clicked the flop. Thanks for nothing. It's aggravating. Alright. Well, I don't think I'm going to be able to get into that tent by myself. That's going to be a group project. Which begs the question, where are we and what do we want to do next? Holy crap, it put me clear back out here. Okay. That's a suicide mission trying to break into that tent solo for a minstrel. Holy crap. There's a lot of aggro. And then those guys came spilling in from outside, too. And the respawn rate on that cleaver. He was back right after I killed him. So I'll let you see the glory of me riding across Pelennor Field with my beautiful war steed, and the war steed and I decked out in basically matching outfits by happy coincidence. It ain't pizza rolls, but it ain't too shabby. There we go. How's that for a view? Oh, thank goodness, somebody's awake. We went 21 minutes without anybody saying anything in chat. Hard hit. It was distressing.
We can only hope that the Rohirrim will arrive before it's too late.
I hope that the Rohirrim will arrive before it's too late. He's got another quest for me. Culling the Tide of
This is your
Orcs.
first time in Minas Tirith.
Defeat Orcs.
Shame you couldn't see it in better days.
I think I can do that
We
for
can
you.
only hope that the Rohirrim will arrive.
Defend
before
the
it's too
Southern
late.
Ramis. I think I can do that for you. Why does that show as locked and I can't That's super weird. Alright, well, defending the Southern Ramis doesn't seem to be anything I need to be up on this wall for. So, okay. Ethlosoth says, I'm getting ready for hiking. That sounds fun. Got a big weekend planned? Any place special you're going hiking? Mrs. Mustafa told me she was going hiking. That would be code for I'm going to the mall. She's not very outdoorsy or very athletic, but she does like a good shopping mall. Well, actually with the Twitch community, so I don't want to hear online are not friends. Who would say such a thing? Friends on Twitch are real friends. Spent more time with you guys than a lot of my longer time friends because of all of this COVID lockdown nonsense. We've been there for each other for the last 15 months. I talk to SKDX Killer probably 5 or 6 days a week. Talk to Hard Hit 5 or 6 days a week. Squirrels are still on cooldown for another 16 seconds. Kiana says if Hard Hit owed you money, you'd never talk to him. I'd never hear from him then. There was a guy in the RC Airplane Club that I basically gave an engine to so he'd shut up and quit talking to me. And then he didn't pay me the full amount for the engine. And my wife was like, doesn't he owe you money? I'm like, shh. I know he owes me money, and he knows he owes me money, and as long as we keep it that way and he doesn't pay me back, then he'll be less likely to talk to me. I had this like brand new, really nice OS engine from Japan. I just gotten it. I didn't even know what I was going to put it on yet. But I don't remember... Somebody gave it to me, or somebody gave me a deal on it, or I don't remember what the deal was. And this guy called me up looking for an engine, and I'm like, yeah, I've got one. And he's like, well, can you bring it to me? I'm like, I'm actually sitting with 3 other pilots at this restaurant at this address right now. If you get out here before we leave, I'll just give it to you. You can pay me later. Okay. I think I was expecting him to pay me in full, and when he get out there, he didn't have the money. He's like, oh, I looked in my wallet, and I only have 20 bucks. I'm like, fine, you can pay me the rest later. And then I didn't hear from him for a good long time, and I was happy about it. He's not a bad guy. He's just best in small doses. And then I think he told me he went out and wrecked the engine. He tuned it too lean and blew it up after a few flights. And I'm like, yeah, of course you did. Which kind of brings up a good point. I think the wife wants to go to the airfield tomorrow. I should probably charge up a couple of batteries. I have a couple of brand new flight packs I just got in the mail I haven't used yet. I've got a couple of fresh packs I bought towards the end of last year. I haven't really used them much, but I left them out in the garage all winter, and I doubt that they're probably still... They're still good, but I don't think they're at full capacity anymore. You really shouldn't leave lithium polymer batteries fully charged in a cold garage all winter. But I'm a little lazy about stuff like that. If we had a bigger place and I had more room to move around, I'd be able to do smarter things with my stuff. It looks like I might be near another one of these captains. No, I just need to defeat orcs and I'm near the Easterlings. Okay, that's my bad. I'm not anywhere where I need to be. Cleavers are vicious, man. I'll just head back. Pick up a couple orcs on the way. Culling the tide of orcs. Alright, now what do I have? Captains. Ooh, there's actually a scholar's chest. Let's get some scholar materials I don't need. What'd we get? 2 tattered and Orient parchments. Ooh, a Mumak. $500,000 morale. Probably won't be tackling that solo either. He did not make it. Ooh, man, that was a major stoppage. That whole server just paused for a minute. Arkenstone has not been silky smooth tonight. Excuse me. That came on so fast I didn't really have a chance to get to the mute button. I'm back at what's-his-name's tent. There's no way I'm getting into that thing solo. Might be fun to try it, though. Lariana says, I think you're low on trophy stockpile. You are not wrong, Lariana. The inventory is thin. Nothing is so precious in all of Middle-earth as extra pack space. And we'll close that so that it's no longer a front to Lariana's eyes. $15 minutes. To save 15% on my car insurance? No thanks. Otherwise, I couldn't even imagine what you mean. Where's the entrance to the big tent? On the wrong side of it? Okay. Well, I got into this tent and there's nobody to fight, so I don't know what that means. I should be right on top of one of the captains, but he's not there. Maybe somebody else came through and blew him up. Might explain why the camp was easier to penetrate than it was earlier. That's a bit of a disappointment. Yeah, I remember this area. I remember thinking it was weird nobody was back here guarding the food. So the captain that I need to kill isn't here. He hasn't respawned yet. When he does respawn, it'll probably be with a whole bunch of other nasties. That pretty much sums up how my evening's going. Org Rider just rolled in. Well, the Cleaver respawned. Let's see if I can put him down. Still no captain. Of course, the danger is if I stay here and wait for him to respawn, I'll never get out alive. Did you see the latest footage from the Gulf of Mexico on fire from an underwater gas explosion? This high level of CGI of what I used to do, I never imagined it would look like that. Water, subtle thermal gas spray, and subsurface scattering of flames. Ginger's off to bed. You all have fun. Thanks, Ginger. Thanks for hanging out. Have a good night, dear. Well, how do I defend the Southern Ramus? Oh, defend the crack. Okay, I can do that. That's not hard. Mrs. Mustafa's all tuckered out. She fell asleep with her phone on her chest. Looks like she is finally snoozing comfortably. Do not let the orcs of Harland reach the Pelennor. Okay. And how long do I have to stay here? 2.5 minutes. I think the flames are cooking me. 27 seconds. I've run out of orcs to challenge me with. I have successfully defended the Ramus. There's a lot of men of Gondor laying here.
We can only hope that the Rohirrim will arrive before it's too late.
I hope the Rohirrim will arrive. Ooh, I get a box of 2 essences. Which means I have to throw something else away. We'll literally throw dirt on the ground. That seems like a good plan. Might, agility, will. Now what's he got for me? Culling the tides of trolls.
We can only hope that the Rohirrim will
trolls.
arrive
That's
before it's
easy.
too late.
There's no shortage of trolls to go take down. Here's one now. There we go. That's 2. Oh, well, that's the guy I already got. Dang it. But he's quite a ways out of position from where I first fought him. It's interesting. I did not realize those guys moved around so much. Alright, well, I don't want to fight those two with him there. So If I aggroed all three, that would be a lot. Urukai. Five of 8. There's 8 of 8. We are culling the tide. Mrs. Mustafa's resting very comfortably. She sounds like Smog snoring over here. Like, wow, should I be afraid? Clicked them all. Alright, let's see what we have here. Shattered hatchets, not a thing. Pitted sword sheaths, I've got a few. Torn skins, I've got a few. Let's get some task items turned in. Clipped wings? Nope. Clipped ears? Nope. Shining carapaces? Nope. Thickened goo? Nope. Torn skin. That was all I had for task items for Minas Tirith. Well, I wonder what I've got. Minstrel's Club. I don't know if that's actually worth bothering to keep. I have an open slot, so I may as well. I can't imagine I'll keep the essence jewelry. It's not bad, but it ain't good. No, that's definitely vendor trash. We'll sell a couple of things, open the essence box. Get some essences deployed. Tactical mastery would be good. Hopefully that's a choice when I open the box.
Well met.
Nope, vitality and will. Had to buy back those shattered hatchets, Lariana. I'm gonna need those for, you know, task item turn-ins.
I greet you, friend.
Like, oh, I'll be able to spot that jade gem easily. Alright.
I greet you, friend.
See, Lariana, I've still got 3 open pack slots. I am ready to rock and roll. I'm a strategist. All right. Clipped wings. Well, shoot, those are only good for Rangers of Athelion, and I'm already maxed out with those guys. Okay, what else we got? Worn, oh, damaged fur. Dole Amaranth, yes, please. The game is locked up solid. Nope, there it goes. I really thought nothing was moving. Okay, we got our damaged fur whittled down. Let's turn in some hatchets. Task item turn-ins, good and good for you. Item XP, rep, regular experience points, Warsteed experience points, titles, cosmetics, and mostly it helps get crap out of your bags. Do your 10 task item turn-ins every day. And if you don't have 10 you can use, then that's because you haven't been turning in enough of them. Get to cracking, y'all. Now I've got 4 pack item slots open. That is fantastic.
How can I be of service?
So, fun fact, if you need to get to Minas Tirith, you can actually go to Minas Tirith Midsummer, and then the stable master there will take you to the regular Minas Tirith before battle. But it's expensive. It's like 126 silver. It's not chump change. It's weird, Rivendell Swift Travel's locked out for some reason. You know, I toyed with the idea of maybe doing some trout fishing tonight, but I think I can save that for another day. I'm going to go raid somebody. Let's see who else is playing Lotro, shall we? Lots of good people playing Lotro. We've got El Galadwin. We've got Ghost Lemons. We've got Professor Teacher G. You guys have a lot of good streamers to choose from. Finny McFinger is streaming. French Girl Gaming is just getting ready to start up. So, yeah, no wonder the viewership's down. You guys can watch all kinds of great streamers. I'm going to raid El Galadwin. She is a fellow Lotro stream team member. But I would encourage you guys to pop around, say hi, encourage all of the Lotro streamers. They are the marketing arm of Standing Stone Games at this point. So have a fun, safe 4th of July. Get out, enjoy some time with friends and family. Cook out, get bitten by mosquitoes, you know, shoot some fireworks if you can. And I will talk to you guys all real soon. I'll be back next Friday, continue the adventures of Lenorian. And until then, peace out. Come by and say hi to me on the Big Ed Mustafa channel. See you then.
One of the guys who you can change your difficulty, which I'm not going to do now, but so they're not in order despite